I'm approaching 66. My skin glows. My hair has never been thicker. I don't have any brain fog. More energy, better sleep.
This is quite revolutionary.
So many people who do have a healthy diet, do exercise and do all the right things, but something's missing. And why is that? Because our food is not nutritious anymore. So your genes are the building blocks of your DNA. 95% of your DNA can be changed. So if you take, for example, the identical twin studies, one twin who doesn't do anything, sits on the couch all day, eats crap food, watches Netflix, the other one exercises, healthy diet, really tries to be healthy. They've got the same DNA, but they've expressed it in different ways. In 1969, there was a guy, a scientist in the USA, who found an antioxidant enzyme that you produce in your cell called superoxide dismutase. 2003, when the human genome was mapped, he found a combination that would stimulate the NRF2 pathway, that would stimulate antioxidant enzymes in every single cell of your body. Do you understand what the power of that is? You're not taking antioxidants, you're actually making them.
Dr. Gail Pearson, a former lead anaesthetist in New Zealand. After 30 years in the operating room, she made a radical shift, becoming medicine's rebel doctor. Now, she's on a mission to share the science behind Nutrigenomics that changed her life and changing the lives of many.
And in 10 years' time, everybody will know about this. Healing from the inside out. It's a paradigm shift for medicine. That's why I want to just tell the world, because...
Quick one. Mina here. Thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. One thing that you can do for me is to please hit the subscribe button below. I promise you that if you hit subscribe, I'm going to work hard to make sure that my episodes are really good, that will get better and better. So, do we have a deal? Okay, back to the episode. One of the things that I love about people who used to do a lot of things in their life, very typical things, like they cook sourdough every single day. And then one day they realized that actually I could have sourdough, but I could have nuts with it and seeds with it. And it's just completely elevated. And it changes the way the taste goes, the interest. Maybe people might want to buy that sourdough now because it's all changed. And this kind of makes me I'm reminded of you and the type of work that you do, because you're an anesthetist of 30 years and you've had a certain way of doing things, and you're very strict about your processes and knowledge and
systems
and direction. And all of a sudden there's an interruption, which is COVID. And I'll get you to share a lot about that later. But for people who don't know who Dr. Gail Pearson is, how did you walk away from being a lead anaesthetist in Auckland, New Zealand, to backing a nutritional idea or a concept or a product that a lot of your colleagues are not even going to think about promoting or wanting to use, and don't even believe in it? Because you're almost coming across to me a bit like a rebel, the rebel doctor. And it's fascinating how you've changed into what you're about to share with me today.
Absolutely. And, I am probably a rebel, because I was a rebel in anesthesia as well. I led the charge in lots of things, whether it be drugs, whether it be equipment, whether it be systems. So for me, looking outside the box has always been important. Now, as a doctor, when you have trained traditionally, you are very much enclosed within a box, but I've always looked outside that box to see if anything was better, that we could improve things. What's our standard of care? How can we improve it? How can we give patients the best possible treatment or look after their health?
Yeah.
So as a doctor, you're really skeptical. And, that's just medicine. You are skeptical that anything that's outside the box, me included. So when my friend said, you've got to try this stuff, I said, go away. I am not interested. I don't do natural. I do drugs, IV, get patients to sleep, and I'm not interested in any natural things. Do you know what she said to me? It's got science. All of a sudden, I prick up. I think, Science, with a natural thing, you must be joking. So the skeptic said, show me what it is. Independent, which means they're not the company driven. Product specific, not the ingredients, the actual product. Peer reviewed means that lots of doctors have looked at it. Published on what we call the doctor's Google.
And what are we talking about here?
So I'm talking about a product that stimulates a specific genetic pathway.
Right. And before we talk about the product, I would love to tell people who don't know who you are, they have a bit of an idea now. You sound to be a bit of a doctor. I've got a speciality. Can you give us a quick kind of memory lane kind of experience of your experience in the health sector and how many years, the kind of involvement? Because sometimes people go, well, why would I want to listen to you for a whole hour? Give them a reason for that.
You know, I've been in anesthesia for almost 30 years. I've loved it. I've loved the way that I can connect with people and help them through a journey, which is actually really frightening for a lot of people. They have to put their total trust in you because you're going to put them off to sleep. You look after them during the operation when they're unconscious. When you have to look after their pain relief, you have to stop the fact that they get any nausea and vomiting. And they are scared. They are at their most vulnerable. And to me, it was almost like a caring profession. So I looked after them and I made sure that they were safe during a very vulnerable time of their life, which is going in for surgery. And going into surgery is a big deal. I would see this in all sorts of ways that people would interact with me. But, you know, when I saw them for 10 minutes before they had the operation, I had to get their trust. I had to look at their fears. I had to look at their medical history. I had to look at what I was going to use for them. And I had to look at what approach would be best for them. Did they want to have full control? Did they want to be just let me do everything? So it was a whole way of looking at people. And you dive into a lot of people's lives, you know, their interactions with other people. It's not just giving drugs and putting people off to sleep. So it is a holistic specialty it is.
And are we talking about in terms of where you practice? Whereabouts have your focus been as an anaesthetist?
As an anaesthetist.
Yeah.
As an anaesthetist, that's where my core values were. And that changed in COVID. And it changed in COVID because we had to wear masks. We had to gown up with big visors all over our faces, gloves, lots of gowns and things. And what that did is it stopped that personal touch. People couldn't see your lips. They couldn't see you smiling. They couldn't, when you touched their hand to put the IV in, it was very sterile. You lost that human touch. And I really wanted to get back to giving back that human touch to people because that's where people feel valued and that's where people get the connection. And to me, that's where I'm working now.
For the people who don't know, you've mainly been in New Zealand, or have you been overseas, or give us a bit of an enlightenment.
So my initial medical training was in Dunedin, and then I went to Christchurch Clinical School. I trained in anesthesia in Auckland. I did a stint over in the UK for about a year, doing locum work over there. And my practice has been in private practice in Auckland, which has been a huge practice, mainly concentrating on just day stay patients or overnight stations to give them the best possible result. So my impact was minimal. So they would come out and not even remember who I was, because I didn't make an impact. And that's where I really strive to be. I wanted to be that person who had made a difference but wasn't there to wave the flags.
And how did COVID change things for you a little bit?
It changed me in the fact that I decided that I didn't like the way that the public health system was going, or even the private health system. A lot of managerial targets, managerial restrictions in terms of what you could use, when you could use it, in terms of budgetary restraints. I didn't want to do that anymore. I'm a free agent. I like to do what I want, and if I want to give the best care to someone, I want to use what I regard as the best care, and that was getting stampled on. So I decided enough was enough. I'd given my all to anesthesia, and now I wanted to do something different. And so I just went 180 degrees into the natural realms.
Interesting. So this is a part where, this is why you're here today, because you, like I was saying earlier, you had a complete switch between the traditional doctor who sticks by the rules and the systems and doesn't really believe in anything that is natural and herbal, to going all the way to a supplemental nutritional product that you are swearing by it, and you would do whatever it takes to tell the world about it.
Absolutely. And, and what I say is everybody in the world should be on an NRF2 activator. But going back, let's say that what I really truly believe in is science. And now we have the science to support natural products. And when we have that science, I'm the bridge. I understand about traditional medicine. I understand about science papers. And if you have got something that's got a scientific backup that's natural, why wouldn't you go with it? Because the science is there, all of the stories are there, the testimonials are there. 1 and 1 makes 2, and it's not rocket science.
Can you delve deeper for someone who's listening, going, okay, so it sounds like you're passionate about something, but what is it that you're wanting to share today? And on a really simple level, just so that people understand what we're talking about. And we will probably get into how is this even going to affect entrepreneurs and leaders who and business owners who typically listen to this podcast, because they're stressed, they're juggling many things. Why would they even care about a cellular health and nutrigenomic conversation today? So
interesting. So, I see that as the modern day diseases. People are stressed out, absolutely, whether that be financial stress, stresses from relationships, their jobs, they're not sleeping well, they have brain fog, they have poor energy. We're living in a different time these days. It's absolutely destroying our bodies, and people have got to do something about it. Now, when you look at a science called Nutrigenomics, it's not supplementation. Supplementation is just when you're chucking in stuff just because you haven't got enough. This is about activation. It's about activation of genetic pathways. Nutrition, we all know about nutrition. We know that food is medicine, we know that food is good, but when you have nutrition that affects your genes, and your genes are just the building blocks of your DNA, that's when the power happens, because you are getting the cells to do what they've always been programmed to do. You're just doing a computer reboot in your cells. That's all you're doing. You're just saying, wake up, you know what to do, got to get on and do it. So we can combat the brain fog, we can combat the lack of energies, we can get better sleep, we can get better hormonal balance if we get the cells back to how they were meant to function in the first place with nutrition.
This is quite revolutionary because, as far as I understand, and I have a little bit of a health background as well, that all the supplements that I've known of, they are able to, and by the way, this is a health conversation, and people, someone listening going, this is new information that I want to learn, and because it's new and because it relates to our health, whoever's listening, we want to point out that you want to go and speak to a health professional that you trust, whether it will be your nutritionist, your doctor. Doing your own research is probably not a good idea because there's a lot of stuff out there and you need to talk to the right people. In fact, they can come and speak to you later. But because it's a health conversation, I just wanted to preface the conversation because we're not here telling you what to do or to skip this or do that, because you need to be really smart about.
Absolutely. And, that's when I work to help people as a guide, but they always have to go back to their primary medical carer to be able to do anything with changing medications, for example. I don't do any of that. All I'm doing is showing them what is possible, and it's up to that individual to be able to do that.
Yeah. Can you please help explain to me this new concept, Nutrigenomics, and why would the average person be wanting to be interested in that? How does it work?
So let's just take a little bit of an example of when you bake a cake. Okay. Everyone knows how you bake a cake.
Yep.
You need ingredients, and you need those ingredients in the right amounts to be able to get a cake. Now, does putting more flour in make a better cake? And usually the answer is no. It actually makes it worse because it won't rise, it's not as fluffy. You have to get the right number of ingredients and the right amounts, the right ingredients to make a cake. Now the body's the same. If you put a lot of supplements in when it doesn't need it, it doesn't do anything. It does nothing to the body. But if you use targeted nutrients of the appropriate concentrations, they can actually get to the command center in your cells, which is called the nucleus. That's the one that tells your body what to make in terms of proteins, tells your body what to make in terms of enzymes, tells your body when it should be waking up, when it should be working, and when the cogs of that body should be going strong. So what we've got with Nutrigenomics is we've got specific pathways that are getting that command center to say, hey, we need to work now. We know what to do. We're going to do this.
So what you're saying is nutrigenomics is, there seems to be two different words here.
Yes.
Nutri and genomics. So are you saying that it's an element of nutrients that has an impact on our genome, which is the DNA side of things? Because we do want to get into that, so to help explain why this is
correct. And so if you do break it down, nutrigenomics, nutrition affecting your genome. Now your genes are the building blocks of your DNA. And we know that 95% of your DNA can be changed, it's not fixed, by a science called epigenetics. That means it's how you express that DNA. So if you take, for example, identical twin studies, they've had one twin who doesn't do anything, sits on the couch all day, eats crap food, watches Netflix, the other one exercises, healthy diet, really tries to be healthy. They've got the same DNA, but they've expressed it in different ways. Okay? So we can actually change the expression of the DNA by using targeted nutrition. We use that targeted nutrition in specific pathways called, for example, NRF2, NRF1, or NAD pathways.
So what are these? Because they sound a little bit too complicated.
They're really complicated. And, I'm not here to talk about the science, which I could do for hours and hours and hours, because it is complicated. All you need to know is that specific nutrients in the right concentration will get into that nucleus, and they will get that nucleus to do the job that it's always been programmed to do.
Can you help me understand a little bit about the gene activation approach? Are we talking about fixing all these symptoms that you mentioned earlier? Brain fog, tiredness, lack of concentration, stuff like that. Are we changing the DNA itself, or are we changing the nucleus in the cell in the body? Where is the change happening?
No, we're not doing any changes. All we're doing, it's like an old engine. If you have an old engine that's not been running, it's rusty inside. So if you drill it out, put fresh oil in it, get the petrol in it, it'll run better again. That's exactly what we're doing to the cells. Brain fog, lack of energy, poor sleep are all just symptoms of cellular disease at the cell. If you don't have healthy cells, you are going to get those symptoms. They're an indication of metabolic disease. And metabolic disease, you're going to hear a lot about that in the next few years, because it's a biggie and people are suffering in a different way. And we need to get to the cells to get people well, to get them functioning how they should be functioning, to get them to function at their best.
So we know that most of us take supplements, right? And what's the actual difference between that and this gene activation approach? Is it just, it's not another supplement, or?
No. It is a natural supplement that works as an activator. So a supplement will address a deficiency. So if you're not deficient in something, you're just going to weed out. It doesn't actually do anything. But if you activate pathways, if you activate specific genetic pathways that just give the instructions to the DNA, which they've already got, but they say, come on, switch back on again, you know what to do. That's the difference between activation and supplementation.
Quick one. Mina here. Thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. One thing that you can do for me is to please hit the subscribe button below. I promise you that if you hit subscribe, I'm going to work hard to make sure that my episodes are really good, that will get better and better. So, do we have a deal? Okay, back to the episode. What kind of background or scientific evidence or studies that you have read that has really stood out for you, that you've went, oh, this was a really interesting study, or for people back home who are a little bit more on the skeptical side, who also are interested in the scientific background, especially, entrepreneurs, CEOs, who they're high functioning, business owners, high functioning and high performance, and they kind of want to understand without them having to go and do the work.
Yes.
Maybe tell us, how do you even know this stuff work, and what have you read that actually says this is actually good?
So that's why I'm here, and that's why I am so passionate about the science, because the science is incredible. And when you can have a product which has specific product studies on it, it is independent, that means not the company did it, and I know that with anaesthetic drugs they're all usually company driven, and it is published, which means that a lot of doctors have looked at it and said, yes, this is good. If you have 27 on a specific product and you look at them and they can tell you on that paper how many genes were affected, by how much on this product, this is a different way of medicine. This is healing from the inside out, not band-aiding from the outside in like traditional medicine. We are getting to root cause of metabolic disease, of all of those symptoms of the brain fog, the lack of energy, the hormonal imbalances, the lack of sleep. We are getting to that source. We're getting to root cause.
Which is basically the activating of the genes.
Yes.
And the genes are in your body, and they're kind of like writing up the code, if you may, is it? So let's say if you're trying to have a better looking hair, say someone who's 55-year-old who wants to have a shiner looking hair, are you saying that this new sort of science-backed nutritional, I'm really tempted to say supplements here, but I know they're not supplements in a sense. Are they enhancing the code that has been written, the code that's been written to, let's say you're going to have a better looking hair?
Well, if you've got healthy hair cells, what are they going to produce? Healthy hair.
Right.
And interestingly, my hairdresser says to me, Gail, what are you doing? Your hair has never been this thick. It's luscious. You are doing something differently. And it's not from a shampoo. It's not from external things. It's because I am nourishing the cells. I'm getting the cells to do the work. The cells in the hair and the skin are the fastest turnover in the body. So you are going to see results in those first before you see them in any other way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if I take two products now, one is a supplement that says I'm going to fix, or I'm going to help fix your hair, and one is the Nutrigenomic backed supplements, and take them. What is the supplements actually doing for people who don't know the science behind the supplements? What's the limitation here on those?
The huge limitation, because all they can do is just supplement anything that's missing.
And they've got no influence on the...
They don't influence the genome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the ingredient here when it comes to the nutrigenomics? What are we talking about here?
Well, so there are several ingredients. The flagship product that I promote is an NRF2 activator, and it's got things in it that we know. These are compounds that have been around for years. Turmeric, great antioxidant, great anti-inflammatory. Milk thistle, great for liver cleansing. And I might say that the liver is the major detoxification organ within the body, but that's another conversation. Bacopa and ashwagandha, really good for mental clarity, focus, brain food basically, and green tea, which we know is a great antioxidant. So they put this together in a specific concentration that's 18 times more effective than the individual agents alone. So when I talk, I have a lot of people who say, oh, I'm just going to go down to the health food and I'll just buy all those and I'll just take those.
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. So if you go to buying a cake and you go and buy the flour and you buy the sugar and you just chuck them all together, are you going to get the right cake? And the answer is no, because you've got to have the right ingredients at the specific amounts to be able to stimulate that pathway.
What about, I'm playing the devil's advocate here,
Sure.
and probably asking questions that someone's sitting there thinking about that question. So I'm asking them for them. I am a 35-year-old who takes a bunch of supplements, and it's in a bottle, and there's a bunch of ingredients in there, and the formulation is all specifically targeted for my age group, for my needs, and exactly what you're talking about. And there are actually some formulations that are better absorbed, I understand, like magnesium. You can get different forms of magnesium that can get absorbed in your body. So, and you can get turmeric and stuff like that. So I'm trying to understand here, how is what you're talking about is still superior to the traditional supplement that comes in a package that is already formulated for a specific purpose.
So I just want to go back and just give you a little bit of history about how this is all came about, because I think that's actually quite an important part of the do. In 1969, there was a scientist in the USA, who found an antioxidant enzyme that you produce in your cell called superoxide dismutase. Now, everyone knows about antioxidants. They take them, blueberries, they take red wine, they grab them from the health food shop. This is an antioxidant that you produce in every cell of your body. Okay, you with me so far? Okay, fast track, 1999. He found the pathway that stimulates that enzyme. Okay, so the pathway that will make superoxide dismutase. That pathway is called an NRF2 pathway. So you see, we've got the antioxidant enzyme, we've got the pathway that stimulates it, and then he thought, how can I naturally stimulate that pathway to get that enzyme? 2003, when the human genome was mapped, at that same time he found a combination that would stimulate the NRF2 pathway, that would stimulate antioxidant enzymes in every single cell of your body. Do you understand what the power of that is? Do you know how many cells you've got in your body? Trillions. Okay, you've got trillions. If you are having something that will stimulate an antioxidant enzyme in every single cell of your body, what's that going to do? You have antioxidants by the truckload. You're not taking antioxidants, you're actually making them. Does that make sense? I want to just make that quite clear, that this is not about taking something, you're making your own. It's just supporting your body. The body is doing its healing, and the body has incredible powers for healing. So we're not just taking something to supplement it, we're taking it to make it. Interestingly, after the age of about 30, all the cellular processes start to slow down, and that's when people start to see wrinkles. They start to sort of just get, their skin goes a little bit dull, and they get a little bit less energy. And what we've found is that there are so many different pathways that start to go off to sleep after the age of about 30, including collagen. Now, what I have introduced is a collagen that activates collagen production by enhancing the genes that produce collagen. Does that make sense? So you're not taking collagen, you're making collagen. That is an incredible power, again, to be able to do that. You combine those two together, and what I've found with people who are struggling in perimenopause, hormonal imbalance, you're reducing the oxidative stress with the NRF2, you're increasing your collagen. What does that do? Your hormones are back into balance. Stop the mood swings. It stops the flashes, the hot flashes. It stops the poor skin. It stops the brain fog. It gets people back up and living again. And that's why I'm so excited. That's why I want to just tell the world, because there are other ways. Don't just buy something just generically that you think it's okay. We have got science-backed products that are incredible.
If someone is thinking, can I just eat better, like more carrots? Would I be able to make something new? Like, will I be able to create antioxidants if I eat nutritional food?
And I have so many people who do have a healthy diet and do exercise and do all the right things, have plenty of water, but something's missing. It's still not enough. And why is that? Because our food is not nutritious anymore. We have soil that's nutritionally depleted, and it doesn't have the vitamins that it used to. It's not like grandma's tomatoes that she used to grow in the back garden. They're not sun-ripened. They're taken away before they're even ripe, and the things are sprayed over them. Pesticides, herbicides are lathered all over our fruit and veggies. What does that do to our body? Our body has to be exposed to these compounds that are artificial, that it's never been exposed to before. And it has to detoxify them. It has to detoxify them in the liver. And the liver's only got so much for capability. When you're using skincare products, just lathering them on your skin, they're absorbed by your skin. They have toxic ingredients. And a lot of people don't actually realise what they're actually putting on their skin. Cleaning products, things that we have around the house, our clothes, they've all got artificial additives, and our bodies aren't used to it, and they're really struggling to detoxify these artificial compounds. So what can we do? We've got to support the body. So someone who's eating healthy, who's having good diet, who's sleeping well, who's got a lot of water, who's exercising, they start on these products and they say, this is what I've been missing. This is the icing on our nutrigenomic cake. Okay? So they've built the cake. Their cake is nice, but we've put the icing on the top, and that actually makes a huge difference to those people as well.
I want to just pause for a second, and I would love to record the introduction for you, because I felt like we could practice it. I don't know if we'll include that in the conversation or not, but just give you the opportunity to think over the introduction and the process and the name, the same, the fame, the aim, and the game. And because it's going to help you when you're introducing yourself, they're all coming together. And we may just cut it out later, but I just want to give you the opportunity to do that. And if I decide to include it later, well, we can include it at the start of the conversation. So it will be about me saying, tell me more about yourself. Tell me who's Dr. Gail Pearson, and then that will be your cue to do it.
We'll try.
Okay. So Dr. Gail, who are you, and why should people listen to this podcast?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Gail. I'm trained as an anesthetist, but I've moved into natural health, and I love it. I love it because it's helping people. I'm out to change the world. I want people to be healthy. I want them to do the things that they want to do. I've done traditional medicine now for over 30 years, and I knew that there was something missing, something big. I saw patients who were struggling, had stress, brain fog, poor sleep, low energy. They're on heaps of medications. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with our world, and I'm there to change it. I want to be able to help people to understand health and how they can actually bridge the gap between traditional medicine and natural medicine. I'm probably a little bit of a rebel because I look at things outside the box. And to me, this actually isn't outside the box anymore. I've seen the box expand, and I think that everyone should know about this because this is something that we want to do in the future. This is healing from the inside out rather than the outside in. It's a paradigm shift for medicine, and in 10 years' time, I can guarantee you that everybody will know about this. Everyone will know about nutrigenomics.
So, Dr. Gail, could you tell me who is this good for? Who's this good for? Is it good for everybody? Are there risks? Are there side effects from all of that stuff? Can you delve into that?
In my opinion, everybody in the world should be on at least an NRF2 activator because everybody has what they call oxidative stress. Now, I'm going to go back and explain a little bit about oxidative stress because it is a concept we need to understand. In our body, we generate what we call oxygen-free radicals. Now, oxygen-free radicals damage cells. They're responsible for part of the aging process. Now, when you have antioxidant enzymes or you have antioxidants you take, for example, blueberries, lots of fruit and veggies, you can counteract on a one-to-one basis those oxygen-free radicals. As you age, your ability to produce your own antioxidant enzymes goes down. So the balance is gone. So when you lose that balance, you have a condition called oxidative stress. And it also can come about by emotional stress, financial stress, relationship stress. Those contribute to manufacturing oxygen-free radicals. Oxygen-free radicals damage cells, okay, part of the aging process. So let's move on from that. Once you've got oxygen-free radicals, you've got to actually either produce your own antioxidant enzymes or you've got to take antioxidants. With this way, we are making our own antioxidants, hugely powerful. In terms of who can take it, I think everybody take it. There's only a couple of contraindications, and they would be if they're allergic, and I mean anaphylactic, allergic to any of the ingredients, if they're on active chemotherapy or radiotherapy, because the whole idea of that is to dampen down any cellular responses, or if they've had an organ replacement therapy and they're on anti-rejection drugs, and what they do is that, again, they want to dampen down the process. Other than that, there is no contraindications, or there are no contraindications. So why wouldn't you? It's food. It's not a drug. It's food. The difference between these nutrigenomic products and drugs is that drugs mimic natural processes. And so what happens is you get side effects. Whereas with these, they don't mimic natural processes, they enhance natural processes. And that's why we have quite a difference between the two of them. Drugs will mask things, you'll get side effects, they're band-aids. This is getting to root cause of cellular health.
Quickly, AI is here and it's disrupting all of us, disrupting our work, our play, and our businesses. You either learn about it and know how to apply, or you get left behind. Simple as that. So my friends at Academy X are running 10-week masterclass called Disruptive Technologies. It is going to teach you how to use AI and tech to shape your future and to walk away with skills that you can use immediately at work. This is so important to stay ahead of the curve, something that we talk about a lot on the show. So why wait? Click the link in the description and sign up. The course begins August 19th. Okay, back to the episode. It's quite it's quite an eye-opening thing, you know, when you're thinking about the possibilities of what nutrigenomics can really do for your body. So you're saying most people can take it, male, female, young and old. Is there a limit to, is there a group of people that would really benefit from that above all other groups, or is it quite a general thing?
Everyone can benefit in any single way, and it depends what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. Are they looking for health span rather than lifespan? These are anti-aging. These are compounds and products that you take if you want to slow down the aging process. Interestingly, you know, when Facebook brings up all of those memories and things, I look at photos of myself 10 years ago, and I actually look better now than I did 10 years ago. Am I doing anything differently? I'm taking nutrigenomic products. I'm taking anti-aging products. And that's been the difference. And I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't looked at the actual evidence.
Because how long have you been taking those?
For about 5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
And what have you found for you?
More energy, better sleep, my skin glows, my hair has never been thicker, I don't have any brain fog. You know, I'm approaching 60, well, I'm 60, nearly 66, so you need to look after your health. I have no medical conditions. I'm being proactive with my health rather than reactive. Having said that, I work with a lot of people who have medical conditions, so we need to get to the root cause to help them through that and to get them at the optimal condition that they possibly can be.
How does it help with fogginess and tiredness, do you think? For a lot of the business leaders and entrepreneurs, they've got such a crazy schedule. It's a long day, it's a lot of concentration, it's a lot of stress, like you were saying. Do you know how the whole fogginess work?
Well, I have a lot of clients who are big business owners, they're entrepreneurs, And they say to me, Gail, since I've been on these, I can cope with things a lot better. The board meetings aren't as stressful. I can get my agenda together and there is no stress. So what it does is it just lowers those stress levels without them having to do anything. And it's unconscious. It's not, I am going to lower my stress levels. It just happens. They're more resilient. They cope with stress better. They sleep better and they have more energy. So in the afternoon, if you're feeling really, really tired and you have to drag yourself to a meeting, that's hard work, isn't it? It's really hard work. If you have the energy that you can do it the whole day, that makes such a difference to that minute, the energy in the meeting, doesn't it?
Trust me, yes.
Yeah. You don't want to drag yourself through. And that's what's happening to people. They're able to get through the day and have time at the end. I have mothers, and one mother in particular, who fell asleep every single day before school pickup. She had to set an alarm before she could pick up her kids because she was so exhausted. She came to me. She started on NRF2 activation. She sent me a month later. She said, Gail, something has changed. I no longer have to set my alarm. I'm awake to pick up my kids. I'm ready to cook their dinner, and I don't fall asleep at 7 o'clock in the chair. She said, my whole life has changed, and I thank you.
Oh.
If I can make a difference to people's lives like that, that's huge.
That's interesting. So where is this medicine being made? Is it in New Zealand, or who's the brainchild behind it?
So it's all the products come from America, from the USA. They're all manufactured there. The raw ingredients are bought in. What I really like is the testing is independent and it is very thorough. So the raw ingredients are batch tested independently. The finished product are batch tested independently. So the quality control and standards is extremely high. We launched New Zealand, we brought the products into New Zealand in 2019, and I led the charge because I felt that New Zealanders should be able to get these every single day. So we now have a warehouse in Auckland that we can actually access them from. They are revolutionary in terms of health moving forward, in terms of if you have ill health or if you have no bad health, if you want to just be proactive. These are the future.
I suppose, is there like a way for people to assess themselves whether this is something that is suitable or not suitable?
Absolutely. We have a little quiz that you can take. It's a 2-minute quiz that you can go on. The link will be in the comments below this podcast, and it's on activatedlife.net. Take that quiz, see what it comes up with, see what you're struggling with, see what it recommends, and then connect in with me, and then I guide people on their health journey. To me, it's really important for people to understand how these work and how they're differently, and to support them in their journey.
What was the brand name again of the product?
The company is LifeVantage, and Protandem is the NRF2 activator, and there's also an activated collagen. Remember we talked about the genes that are activated, and the combination of the activated collagen and the NRF2 is amazing for women.
And I suppose... maybe you can list for me the type of products that is, out there in the market, the differences of it, and
there are a lot of products there at the moment, especially, and you'll have CEOs and business people here, and they'll be taking supplements, and they'll say, well, why is your supplement any different to mine? A lot of those supplements will just provide extra. So if we can go back and have a look at a car factory. Okay, so you have steel put in, you have the machinery that makes the car, produces the car. Now, what supplements do and what a lot of these do, they put a lot of precursor in, which is a lot of steel. They put a lot of steel, but the machinery's broken. The machinery of the body's broken. So it doesn't matter how much steel you put in, you're not going to get a car at the end if the machinery's broken. What these do, they put the precursors in, they increase the machinery to get more cars. So if you can understand that paradigm,
that's a good way of
describing it in terms of how it would work. So they use the precursors, but they don't increase machinery, whereas these get the machinery up and running.
How many people are using it at the moment? Like, how many people are using this product in the world? How popular, how big is it?
So the NRF2, which is the flagship product, has been around since 2003. So there have been millions and millions of tablets taken. The collagen, which was introduced 18 months ago, they have already sold 11 million bottles.
And tell me about the collagen.
I love it. Collagen production, as I said, declines after about the age of 30. And collagen is not just in the skin. People think, it's just responsible for wrinkles. But collagen's one of the most abundant proteins in our body. So you find it in your joints, you find it in your gut, you find it in your heart, in your eyes, in your bones. So it's all over the place. If you can actually increase your collagen production, what will you see? Of course, you'll see less wrinkles, you'll see better skin, but you'll also see better joints. You'll also see better gut health. You'll also see better cardiovascular health. So we can see collagen in all aspects of the body, so it's not just something for skin. And when you can have something that's extremely palatable, appleberry flavoured, that you just take every day as a liquid, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Is it something that you take every day,
Yes.
or do you have to,
Yes.
Yeah. Is it like liquid?
Yeah, it's 50 mils of liquid. Shake it up, drink it, and enjoy, and see the benefits.
Are there any ethical issues in regards to nutrigenomics that people need to be aware of, or I suppose regulations, when it comes to nutrients and supplements? There are always, you can say that this is going to help, but you can't say this is actually going to cure or solve.
And we make that very clear. So these products are not designed to treat, mitigate or diagnose any medical conditions. We can't link these products to helping any medical condition at all. And that's very important for us because we know what they can do, but we're not allowed to link them to any medical conditions. I get a lot of questions about the FDA. Now, the FDA has jurisdiction only on drugs. The FDA does not have jurisdiction on natural products, so they cannot be FDA approved. But if we link these products to any medical conditions, then the FDA will intervene and say you have to stop. So it's very important to us to talk about cellular health, to talk about being more vital, to increasing your energy, and about health. We are talking about health here. We're not talking about disease.
It's been really fascinating, Dr. Gail, to have you and to speak about this work and your passion for wanting to get more energy, more concentration, more vibrancy into your body and into the bodies of many other people. And it's just definitely an interesting conversation that is fitting. And the reason why we decided to have a health conversation today as opposed to our usual business stories is because it is relevant to business health, and like I was saying, business founders might find this conversation enlightening and they might want to look into it more if they find it, want to dig deeper. Dr. Gail, where can people find you if they want to find out more? Talking about digging deep, how can people find you and connect with you and maybe ask you questions?
I'd love people to just go straight on that activatorlife.net, which the link is below. I want them to do the little quiz. I want them to do the 2-minute quiz to see where they're really struggling and what could really help. Once they've done that, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just send me a message and I'll reply to you, and we'll sort things together and we will meet and we'll discuss things. I'm here for your health journey, and that's important to me because people are important.
Fantastic. Well, it's been amazing to have you, and very intriguing, very compelling, and what you were sharing with us earlier. And I think I am a bit challenged and convicted, and I'm kind of intrigued, so I might do the quiz myself. And we'll see what I come up with. But for now, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks very much.